This is part 6 of payroll management software. Today we will learn how to assign salary to employee. For that we will create one screen. In employee folder, right click, add Windows form. Your form name will be form employee salary. Click add button. Expand the screen. Okay, change this text to form employee salary. Here properties. Assign salary to employee. Here I need label and then text box. Then three buttons. Then two data grid view. Now we have to give name for each label and text box grid view like that. I have given name for each text boxes employee name, text salary, text employee ID like that. Save, update, delete three buttons we are using now, and the data grid view 2 and the data grid view 1. Okay, yeah, if I enter employee ID, employee name should automatically display in this text box. Otherwise, if enter employee name in this text box, relevant employee ID should display in this text box. Okay, salary here we are fixing per annum. Okay, now we will call this form in form main function. Here we'll create one other sub menu. Employee salary. Double click this. Here I just copy the codes. Form employee salary. Now start the application. Click login. Here employee salary. Okay. Now we will create a SQL table. Here table, right click, new table. Here employee ID, which is of the type integer, and then join date. Data type will be date, and then salary per annum. Okay, here I will give salary only. Its data type float. Okay, this three field enough. Employee name we will use from employee table. Okay, just save this table. EMP salary. Click OK. Now here first we will write Keydown Event for employee ID and employee name to display relevant employee ID, employee name in these text boxes. Then it should focus on joining date, then salary per annum like that. Okay. Here go to events, Keydown Event. If e.keycode equals keys dot enter. Inside this we will call connection class new connection. For employee select text change event, first we will use text change event. Here data get method within double quote. Here select top 10 employee ID, comma name from table name. Here in employee table we have employee ID name columns. Okay, table name will be employee. In where condition, where employee ID like text employee ID dot text. If you are using like condition, we must use this percentage symbol. Okay, then we will assign data table object dt equals new data table. Then we will fill the data table object then this is data grid view 2. We will assign that value to this data grid view. So data grid view 2 dot data source equals dt. In employee ID text box, we will enter only numeric value only because it's type integer. So we will use one more event key press. Okay, it accepts numeric values only. Then this data grid view selection mode should be full row select. Full row select. Okay. Now we will check this. Click start. If I enter employee ID as 1, here we have one record. Okay, if enter 2, there is no record with employee ID 2. Okay. First we will insert some records here. Then save this record. Okay. Now we have two records. Go to employee salary. Here with employee ID we have one record. With employee ID 2 there is no record. In employee ID 3 we have record with the name of John. Okay, if I press enter key, that name should display in this employee name text box. Okay, like that. If I search names here, like it should display in the data grid view. If I press enter, then employee ID should display here. Like that we should write code now. Here employee ID we will use text change event. I just copy this code here. Name like text name text employee name dot text. Okay. Next we'll write code for keydown event. If data grid view 2 dot rows dot count greater than 0 means text employee ID dot text equals data grid view 2 dot selected rows index will be 0, then cells Here employee ID index will be 0 because in the data grid view we are displaying only two columns, employee ID and the name. Okay. Dot value dot toString. Okay, like that we should add code for employee name, text employee name. Here cell index will be 1. Then it should focus on datetime picker. For that dtp dot focus. I just copied this code and I will write Keydown Event for employee name text box. Yeah, I will add this code. Okay, it will work now. Let's check. If I press enter, name is displaying. Okay, just close this form. Then employee salary. If I search name, press enter, employee ID is displaying and it's focus on joining date. Okay, see here in employee by default cursor focus on salary per annum. It should focus on employee ID. So we will change this. In page load event, this dot active control equals text employee ID. Okay. Next, we'll write code for this join date keydown event. If e dot key code keys dot enter focus on text salary. I just copy this one. If text salary dot text length greater than 0, it should focus on button save dot focus. Okay. Next, we'll write code for this save button. Okay, inside this, we will use data send method. Here, we will use shortcut method. New query. Here, change type to insert values. Here, we will add make it single line. Text employee ID dot text and then dtp value dot toString. Inside this double quote, we will pass month, day, and then year. Finally, we should assign text salary dot text. Before inserting record, we should validate the input values. Okay, now for that, I will add this function private bool validation. Its return type bool. Here, first we are declaring bool variable result false. Okay, if text employee ID is null or empty means we should display the error message employee ID required, like this or salary required. We have error message. Before that we should add error provider tool. Okay. After this, we should check whether this employee ID already exists in the table or not. For that we will write code now. Okay, adding this code here. Um, Creating function name. If employee exists, a parameter will be, we are passing employee ID only. Its return type bool. First we are fetching data. Select one from employee salary where employee ID equal this parameter employee ID. If data table object dt.rows.count greater than 0 means it will return true, else it return false. Okay, now we will use this here. If validation inside this, if validation true means we will come inside. If employee exists, here will pass text employee id dot text. Okay, if employee id exists or return true means we should show error message record already exists, else we will insert the new record. After inserting new record, we should display the message box successfully saved, then message title, and then message box buttons. Okay, then message box icon with information. Okay. After inserting record, we are displaying the message box. Then we should clear these text boxes. Okay. For that, we will create one function private void clear data. Inside this, we'll clear text employee ID dot clear, text employee name dot clear, text salary dot clear, and then dtp dot clear date dot value equals date time dot now. Here, when this page is loading, save button should be enabled true, other buttons enabled false. Okay, in clear data function also we will write this button save dot enabled equals true, button update enabled false, then button delete enabled false. Okay, we will call this function here. Then we should load that inserted data into this data grid view. For that we will create one more function private void load data. Here we will cast data get method. Inside this, select star from table name employee salary. Okay, order by employee ID. Then we'll create data table object dt equals new data table. Then fill data table object sda.fill dt. Then we will clear the data grid view values. Data grid view one dot rows dot clear. Then we will use for each class. For each here will pass data row in dt dot rows. Inside this will declare int n equal to data grid view one dot rows dot add. Here this rows will come. Okay. Here data grid view one dot rows of n dot cells. Your cell name dg employee id dot value equals row of your employee id dot toString. Okay. Like this, we have to assign values for employee name, join date, and salary per annum. Before that, we must change this SQL query little bit because in the employee salary table we don't have employee name column. Okay, we should get employee name from employee table based on employee ID condition. Okay, here select employee salary dot star and then comma employee dot erm column name employee from table name employee inner join employee salary on employee dot empid equal to employee salary dot empid. Okay, so I just copied this line and pasting here. Okay, I have finished this load data code. Okay, we will call this function in insert operation load data. Okay, save this and start the application. Go to employee salary screen. Here employee ID, then joining date May 1, sorry May 2. Okay, salary per annum will be 6 lakh. Okay, click this save button. Here we have successfully saved message. I think here we have one error in here space will come inner join. Okay, press F10. Okay, click continue. Okay, now we have inserted record for Reka. Okay, now it's working fine. Okay, in our next video, we'll discuss how to update and delete the employee salary record. Okay, thank you for listening this. See you there in next video. Bye.